Hello, I'm BMillzebub, and welcome to another edition of Criticisms of the Catholic Church. Today, we're going to be talking about where the Catholic Church stands on artificial insemination. I'm sure many of you would assume that the Church would celebrate the possibility of parents who are having trouble conceiving increasing due to this scientific marvel. A medical procedure which can potentially increase the number of Catholics in the world. A medical breakthrough which brings joy to prospective parents who otherwise may not be able to conceive in the usual way. But you'd be wrong. You've all heard this phrase before in this series, so say it with me. Let's see what the Catechism has to say. According to Catechism 2376, techniques that entail the dissociation of husband and wife by the intrusion of a person other than the couple, donation of sperm or ovum, surrogate uterus, are gravely immoral. These techniques, heterologous, artificial insemination, and fertilization, infringe on the child's right to be born of a father and mother known to him and bound to each other by marriage. They betray the spouse's right to become a father and mother only through each other. Who cares if people are married or not? This is just another example of the Church intruding into people's lives in very intimate ways. An intimate intrusion which the Catholic Church has no right to, but makes anyway. But that's for couples who aren't married. Maybe a lesbian couple, a woman who just wants kids, or I don't know, insert whatever possible scenario that doesn't involve a heterosexual married couple. But speaking of, what about married couples? To answer that question, we have Catechism 2377. Techniques involving only the married couple, homologous artificial insemination and fertilization, are perhaps less reprehensible, yet remain morally unacceptable. They dissociate the sexual act from the procreative act. The act which brings the child into existence is no longer an act by which two persons give themselves to one another, but one that entrusts the life and identity of the embryo into the power of doctors and biologists and establishes the domination of technology over the origin and destiny of the human person. Such a relationship of domination is in itself contrary to the dignity and equality that must be common to parents and children. Under the moral aspect, procreation is deprived of its proper perfection when it is not willed as the fruit of the conjugal act, that is to say, of the specific act of the spouse's union. Only respect for the link between the means of the conjugal act and respect for the unity of the human being make possible procreation in conformity with the dignity of the person. So the answer is still no, perhaps less reprehensible, but still no. The Catholic Church wants people to fuck, to have kids. And to say that bringing a child into the world through artificial insemination removes the ability for that child to come into the world by parents who gave themselves to each other is absurd. Artificial insemination is not step one in the baby-making process. It's the doing it the old-fashioned way isn't working step in the process. People can give themselves to each other over and over and over again without success. And the Bible does say, go forth and multiply. It doesn't really specify how. That's what these people are doing. Although I'd wager it's because they want kids for themselves, not because some fantastical imaginary sky wizard said so. Artificial insemination is a good thing. It means people who want to be parents can be. Yes, an argument for adopting a child in need can be made, but as usual, they save what's reasonable for last. Catechism 2379 says, the gospel shows that physical sterility is not an absolute evil, spouses who suffer from infertility after exhausting legitimate medical procedures should unite themselves with the Lord's cross, the source of all spiritual fecundity. They can give expression to their generosity by adopting abandoned children or performing demanding services for others. Okay, well, sort of last. Rather than start off the explanation of its stance on artificial insemination by saying there are kids out there who need parents, consider adoption, they open with, God wants you to fuck to have kids. And even then, they have to throw in that if you can't have kids, you should throw yourselves into religious life by uniting yourself with the Lord's cross. Because everything comes from that. Except babies who were conceived by artificial insemination. I hope you all enjoyed this edition of Criticisms of the Catholic Church. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. If you feel so inclined to help me out, consider giving to my Patreon, where I plan to reward patrons with either a private hangout or a private live stream. Or get me something off my Amazon wishlist. Every little bit helps, and every little bit is greatly appreciated. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, linked below, to keep up with all my comings and goings, and join my Discord for a chance to talk to yours truly. Take it easy, everyone, and I will see you all in the next one.